this is Coach Rogers Veen here with Career Coach Talk. In this episode, we are presenting to you another amazing individual. Her name is Meredith Elliott Powell. She is a master strategist across so many business lines, and it's absolutely amazing what this woman has accomplished, the goals that she has helped businesses meet, and she is here for you to give you the wisdom, the guidance, and the inspiration to move forward. And without any further ado, I just want to introduce you guys to Miss Meredith Elliott Powell. She is voted one of the top 15 business growth experts and a top sales expert to follow, especially on LinkedIn. She's in the top motivational speakers in this country. She is from Uniontown, Pennsylvania. She's an award-winning author. She has worked all the way up from entry level to the C-suite. So if you want to go anywhere along that path, she can help you with that. She is a master certified strategist. She's a certified virtual presenter. She's a certified speaker professional, executive coach, and all these designations in one person represents less than 12% of professional speakers worldwide. She is passionate about helping her clients learn sales and leadership strategies, and she is the one and the only and the amazing Miss Meredith Elliott Powell. Let's welcome her to the show. Hey Meredith, welcome to the show. Welcome to Career Coach Talk. It took a while for me to do your introduction because your accolades just pile on and on and on. I could have kept talking, but I figured, I'm kind of piling these people up. They're getting all anxious to see who it is that I'm talking to them about. So here we are, and thank you for being on the show today.
Well, thank you. I'm excited to be here. I apologize for my attire, but I just came off the tennis court.
And that's another thing. See, we're talking to somebody who is a master strategist of what they do, and we're catching you doing something we wish we had time to actually do, because you have already made a way for you to live that lifestyle. So we're going to learn from you. And again, we are happy to have you here with us today. So my first question, and I just like to dive right into things.
Sure, that's great.
Jump right in with 2 feet. COVID-19, everybody's life has been turned inside out, upside down, hit the pause button. Some people's lives has accelerated depending on where you are when everything hit. So how has COVID-19 crisis has affected you and your business, or how are you managing things right now?
Yeah, so I'm probably like a lot of your listeners. I had a really great first quarter to 2020. Thought I was headed for my best year on record, and then the week of March 9th, everything changed. Not only was all my income wiped out for the year. I mean, I make my living as a keynote speaker, which means I travel around the world. I get on stages. I engage with thousands of people, but my business model became irrelevant. And I really sort of panicked. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to sell everything I own on eBay. But luckily for me, I'd been researching a book called Thrive, Turning Uncertainty to Competitive Advantage, where I'd researched 9 businesses that have been in business since the late 1700s and early 1800s, still in business, thriving today. So I applied that formula. I've got a 9-step formula for thriving in an uncertain marketplace. I applied that to my business, and 6 months later, things are really rocking and rolling. I'm probably going to have a better 2020 than I had 2019.
That's amazing. So yeah. The name of the book is called Thrive.
Yes, it'll be out this fall. It's called Thrive, Turning Uncertainty to Competitive Advantage. And it's all based on the research I did on these 9 companies and the 9-step formula I wrote from those organizations.
That is amazing. I'm gonna have to get an advanced copy of that book.
I'll definitely. I'll send you a signed copy as soon as it's hot off the press.
And I'll be more than happy to check that out. And all of us need to check out that book when it comes out. So with that being said, after you've done all this research, then you're the perfect person for us to talk to. Well, my next question, which is, let's talk about what is your secret, some of the secrets you can give us, or some of the knowledge that you've gained that you're gonna have presented in that book, is how we continue to be successful in this environment.
Yeah, I think the first thing that you need to do is, and again, it's one of the things that I learned from researching the book, is that you've really got to have a positive point. You've got to be focused on where your business is going. There's a great story about a group of Boy Scouts who were going whitewater rafting in Northern California. And before they were supposed to go, Northern California had all these torrential downpours, and the boys couldn't go because it was class 2 rapids had gone to class 5, but being boys, they begged and they pleaded until the river guide gave in. But he said, you can only go when I give you a safety talk. And the safety talk, he focused on the obstacles, the downed trees, the things that they were going to bump into. But he spent 3 times as much focused on the positive point where the raft needed to end up. And he explained to the boys, he said, I'll always do that, because if you focus too much on the obstacles and the challenges, you won't be able to see the positive point. Your boat will hit those. I think it's the same in our business. You've got to be focused on where your business is going. So I always like to share this when I'm sitting at my desk. If you got up with me every morning, you would see that one of the first things I do is I read my note cards. Okay. These have my positive point on it. This is where I see my business when COVID is over. Wow. And so while I hit the obstacles and challenges during the day, I'm very focused on where I want my business to be. And I think that's a really important thing for us to be. We've got to see light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, that makes me think about one of my favorite speakers of history that I follow, Earl Nightingale. You may have heard of him. I listened to his, I'm doing the whole 30-day trial. I'm listening to The Secret. Yeah. And, you're all what you think about. So I noticed that if I feed my mind the positive affirmations and directions first thing in the morning, then my day seems to go a lot smoother regardless of what happens. So, I see using note cards. Some people use messages on my phone. I can use my phone. That pops up a message that I would read, or I have something that I would listen to of me speaking my affirmations to myself. So that's just the different ways that people it's interesting to use the cards for yours.
Yeah. I mean, some people pray in the morning. I meditate in the morning. And when I'm done meditating, I focus on those cards because I really do believe it. But I just love that story of the river because it's so true. I mean, if you're rafting on a river, if you focus on the rock, you'll hit the rock. If you focus on the calm water after the rapid, it's where you'll go. And we've really got to be like that in our businesses right now. We've got to have that positive point.
I 100% agree with that. So with that being said, outside of focusing on the problems, what are some other mistakes that you notice, common mistakes you see clients are making out there?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that I'm seeing clients make right now is the fact that people are deciding to sit on the sidelines. Is that it's there's been such a debate about whether you sell or not sell in the middle of a crisis. And I am a big believer that you've got to sell, but how you sell needs to change. I'm telling my clients that I want you to reach out to people that you've been in business with for the last 3 to 4 years, anybody that's done business with you. And I just want you to reach out and I want you to check in and I want you to see how they're doing. And it's in that first of all, if you want people to continue to do business with you, you've got to let them know that you're here, that you're growing, and that in the middle of a crisis, people are attracted to a business that looks like it has a lot going on. The other is, if you listen to your existing customers, they're going to tell you their biggest challenges, their biggest opportunities, and their biggest needs. And we have to understand that what we sold before COVID has to be different than what we sell after COVID, because our customers' challenges and problems are different. And so what I see the mistake people are making is they're not focused on being relevant right now. And you need to be relevant.
So when you say relevant, as in acknowledging what the situation that we're in, instead of just being kind of Pollyanna, happy, where we are.
Yeah. The military calls it embracing the suck. I kind of like that phrase, but there's been a lot of research done on the fact that in times of crisis, it's not optimists or pessimists that make it through the crisis. It's the realists. So you don't want to be somebody who's like, oh, COVID's going to be over in a month, or somebody who's like, this sucks, my business will never recover. It's about embracing it and saying, I understand there's roadblocks and challenges. I'm going to focus on what I can control, and I'm not going to focus on the rest. But the only way to sell to people right now is like, before COVID, I really spoke about sales and leadership a lot. You could argue that both of those are still relevant right now. But when I talk to my clients, the biggest thing that they're talking about is, we don't know how to handle this pace of change. And once COVID is over, is it just going to be something else? Getting that information from them helps me understand how to change what I sell so that they recognize it. We have to understand that people buy from us because we understand them, not because they understand us. I'm going to repeat that. They buy from us because they feel understood by us, not because we have explained what we do to them.
Mm-hmm. So people want to be heard. People want to say, okay, this person cares about me and what's going on in my world, so they can feel more comfortable, working with you to fix the problems or address the obstacles that they have.
Yeah, especially in the middle of a crisis, people want to be heard more than anything. And when we listen to them and then we turn around and use their words in our marketing,
Mm-hmm.
people feel like we're talking to them.
Cool. I think we all can definitely learn something from that. That's
Yeah.
an awesome insight. So, in the spirit of insight, can you share something, a big revelation that you've learned here in the last 3 to 4 months?
Yeah, I think the biggest revelation that I've learned really in the last 3 to 4 months is that what worked for me in March was not what worked for me in June, is not what is working for me in August, will not be what is working for me in November. Is that you've got to shed fast and keep moving. Is that it's change is happening at such a rapid pace, and it's happening external to your business. And I've been telling my clients to use a little tool called a seeds, a weeds, and a needs. And every 30 days, just sit down with their business and ask yourself, what are you doing that's really working? What are you doing that's growing your business? So those are your seeds. Your weeds are, what are you doing that's weighing you down? What are you doing that's choking you up and holding you back? And what do you need to get rid of? And then needs, what do you need that you don't have? So my business is so different than it was in March. It's different now in August. It'll be different again in November and
Do you
January.
think it's really changing that rapidly? I know there's rapid change happening, but from month to month,
Yeah.
the model's been having to shift a little bit, from month to month.
Yeah, I'll give you a great example. Like last month, I built a video studio in my basement.
Mm-hmm.
A month before that, I was doing all of my videos at my desk. So when I would do a virtual keynote, I would do them right here.
Mm-hmm.
Last month, I built a video in my basement, and last month that was great. I've already reached out to the video guy to upgrade it to another level because I feel like what my clients are demanding is higher quality now. So I feel like it's changing that rapidly. I don't want to be sitting on my laurels.
Well, you're saying something there. Some people kind of sitting back hoping that this thing kind of blows over. But like you said, I 100% believe that the world that we had before COVID, once this does, let's say a vaccine happens tomorrow, everybody's vaccinated, this world will never be the same. There's been some irrevocable changes that's happened. So we're going to have to be agile, not just from business to customer, but for business internally, even with their employees, how they manage them, because like, for example, I know that there are some people that's not going to want to work 40 to 60 hours in an office anymore after being
Right.
exposed to remote working, that they can still be, just as productive. So, what do you think? How do you think that's going to affect leadership strategies going forward with a more remote workforce?
Yeah, it's going to give leaders some opportunities in the sense that now they can hire anywhere. Now before they've been sort of limited to a geographic location. But I think that leaders are going to really have to advance their skills, because how you lead people virtually is going to be very different than how you led them in person. So I think that from a leadership standpoint, I don't think it's ever going back to the way that it was. I mean, do I think people will come back into the office? Will they go to meetings? Absolutely. I mean, we're human beings. We crave interaction. But a lot of people have figured out that, wow, now I don't have to commute that 45 minutes to work every day. And this
Mm-hmm.
is kind of better. And so I think leaders are going to have to learn to onboard differently, to train differently, to
Mm-hmm.
hold people accountable, and to motivate people differently. So
Awesome, awesome. So tell us about your business. You said that your business model was doing the live speaking events, and you had that highlight on your website. Actually, looks phenomenal. you know,
thanks.
so tell us about your business and the type of services you can provide to help us learn how to lead and sell better.
Yeah, so I am a keynote speaker and award-winning author. I'm a certified coach and a certified business strategist. So really with my clients, the way that my business model works is typically I write. I've got about 8 books to my credit right now, with this new one coming out this fall. So typically I write on subjects that I'm passionate about, and then I speak on those subjects. I used to do that live. Now I do many of that virtually, but for any of you who go to meetings and conferences, I'm typically that woman on that stage talking about subjects. And then from there, people hire me to do coaching, consulting, or strategy work inside their businesses. But, in essence, truly what I'm focused on is really helping people learn to turn uncertainty to strategic advantage, to see the opportunity and the changes coming in the marketplace and be one step ahead of their competition.
That is absolutely awesome. So how do we reach out to you? How do we learn more about the awesome Meredith Elliott Powell?
Well, I would love, I'm a big believer that if you build your network, it will change your life. So if we are not connected, I would love to be connected. You can find me at my website, which is valuespeaker.com, just the words value and speaker.com. At the top of my website, there's a purple bar called Emerge Successful. If you click on that, it is chock full of free tools and resources to emerge successful from this crisis. I really encourage people to go there. You can also find me on all the social networking sites. I tend to live a little bit more on LinkedIn.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. And any parting thoughts, any particular insights you would like for everybody to take away as we close the show today?
Yeah, is that I do realize that these are challenging times, but I can tell you from the research that I did on these organizations that that there is opportunity in the marketplace. There's opportunity to grow. There's opportunity to be successful if you understand the shifts, if you understand the strategies, and if you believe that success is possible. If you don't take anything else from my interview, it's that you begin to work on your mindset. If you work on the mindset, everything else will start to take care of itself. But thank you. It's been great being with you today.
Thank you as well. And I make an awesome point. You are what you think about, like Earl Nightingale said, and you have made that point abundantly clear. We've been motivated, informed, and we are now inspired. Thank you so much for being on the show with us today.
Thank you.
All right. And thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Career Coach Talk. We have Meredith Elliott Powell here with us today, and we look forward to seeing you for more episodes here where we help you get to that next best version of yourself. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for watching today's episode of Career Coach Talk. Are you ready for your next professional version of yourself? Come visit us at mdself.com. Schedule your free consultation or reach out to us via email at coach@mdself.com.